Welcome to episode 174 of In Touch with iOS, a podcast that talks about iPhone, iPad, Apple Watch, Apple TV, polishing cloths, and related technologies. I am your host, Dave Ginsburg. My co-host, Warren Sklar. He is in Dublin, Ireland, and visiting his son. He'll be away for the next few weeks, but we've got two great new guests, returning guests here. Mr. Holden DePardo. How you doing, Holden?
Doing well, Dave. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for being here. And we'll also have his partner in crime, Brian DePardo. How you doing, Brian?
Doing great, thanks. Hey, Holden.
Oh, hi. How's it going, sir?
Pretty good, sir.
We had this silly thing called a Apple event this past week, but it really didn't have too much in the way of iPhone, iPad, or any of our related technologies. But there was a few things that we'll be talking about. We've got some new stories this week. Beta is very close to being hotly released, and all kinds of other fun stuff. So let's go jump into some of the stories I found this week. This is on Mac Rumors. Apple removes references to the original HomePod, sigh, from its website months after its discontinuation. Apple has removed all references to the original full-sized HomePod. I'm looking up at my HomePod right now from its website months after officially discontinuing it because it struggled to reach that mainstream adoption. Because they came out with the HomePod Mini, and it came out. It was a great speaker, but was very high priced. Do you guys have? Do either of you have the HomePods? You just have HomePod Minis?
I do. I have the full size one.
Yeah, so I got two.
It's in our living room.
It still works
as well, don't you?
I have a couple of minis, and I have the full size one, which sounds amazing.
Yeah, it does.
And I mean, I didn't pay full price for it, in all fairness. It was expensive.
I got
it on sale. Yeah, so I think it was worth it, but I can understand why, Apple pulled it. It probably wasn't flying off the shelves. The Mini is priced as an impulse item,
It is, man. And I've seen them as low as $79. So they could be had, but we'll talk about the Mini really bit. I got a couple of Minis too. I've got three Minis I think of, and two HomePods that are in pair that work really well with my Apple TV. That's hooked up when I'm watching a show here. So they still work. Let's just hope Apple will continue to support them. That's the only thing I worry about, because it was introduced three years ago, and they've been known to keep things. If we look at the track record of iPhones, maybe you would think the HomePods would continue on, because the technology really hasn't changed. It is a speaker, it really is. It is. So
yeah.
So
I think they'll continue it. This has been really successful for them. The fact that they released it in colors tells me that they have confidence in the product, because this is like their move is, okay, cool, people bought them. How can we get them to buy more? I'm kind of jumping ahead. Sorry. So I feel like they're probably seeing success that they're willing to invest in manufacturing a whole new line of them. But they sound great. I have two, but they're separate. I haven't paired them together before, but I hear together they sound incredible.
Yeah. I have one on each side of my desk, and I have, they're a stereo pair, so they sound amazing.
Right. So we'll talk about the HomePod Mini here in just a bit. Next story, Apple restructures its website, separates AirPods and TV Home into their own sections. Wow, about time. As part of a new product announcement that had happened this past week, Apple restructured its website to prominently highlight AirPods as its own product category, and creating a TV and Home only at Apple and a new accessories tab. The menu bars will look considerably more crowded, but they do highlight everything that's there, which is great. And now I have an easy way to get to AirPods, because it was buried. But let's face it. If you wanted to find out what's going on with AirPods, we'll talk about AirPods here in a bit here. But no, this is good news. And as we know, Apple is still, I think to this day, hand codes its website, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. Interesting.
Yeah, that's what I had heard.
It's about time that it got treated as its own separate category. I mean, first of all, there's 4 tiers now. There's the second generation AirPod, third generation Pro, and the Max. So they have quite the lineup now. And I think those headphones are ubiquitous at this point. They feel as ubiquitous as the white headphones, like the white iPod headphones. You'd walk around and you just see the white iPod headphones and know exactly that someone's using an iPod. And I feel like that's AirPods now. And it happened pretty quick, actually. They came out, 2017? 2016?
The AirPods?
Whenever the iPhone 7 came out.
Yeah, that's about right.
2017, I think.
Yeah, so it happened pretty quickly.
2016.
Considering, they're a $150 purchase minimum. Well, not anymore, but they were before this week.
They were rumored for a long time before they were released, too.
Yeah.
But they're iconic. I mean, you look at them, say, like in a silhouette, just by the shape, they're AirPods.
Yep.
So what I thought was really cool was, we'll get to it when we talk about AirPods.
Yeah, we'll get to that. But this is just more the website. It is restructured. You're going to find it much easier to find these products because you would go into accessories. I go into accessories now, and then things are still buried. Do they even sell Beats? I don't even see them. You got to go. They're buried in accessories. They're buried in accessories somewhere. Because headphones and speakers. That's where you go to, and I believe they still have the AirPods there, but then you also have the Beats buried in there as well that are still there.
I went to look up when AirPods came out so I could share that because I was curious. I'm taking a screen for this right now. But I looked up AirPods in DuckDuckGo, and the first suggestion was DFW International Airport. It's so random.
Where does it think you are?
Well, that's
I know. It's so random. Anyway, the Beats thing, they bury those. And you just bought some, Dad, and you like them a lot.
I got a pair of Beat Solo Pros. I can't remember what they're called.
Yeah.
But they are good. They're really good. I got them for like a steal at Best Buy. But I ended up giving them to my son because I got the AirPods Max because I wanted the Beats are good, but they didn't cover my ear completely.
Yeah.
And after a while, it starts to hurt.
It's on ear, right? It's not over ear. It's on ear.
It's on ear, whereas the AirPods, the Max go over my ears. And the noise cancellation, I mean, when I have that on, I can't hear anything.
Yeah, they're great for that.
That's good when you want to focus. So
Yeah. So
it doesn't surprise me the Beats are buried like that because I feel like that purchase had nothing to do with the headphones themselves. I think that purchase was about two things. Apple Music, because Beats had their own music service. They bought it for that. And then Beats had a lineup of varying colors of headphones, different models, different SKUs. Yeah. And they were manufacturing these at massive scale. And I think Apple wanted that manufacturing prowess for the Apple Watch to release a number of different customized bands and scale and that kind of stuff. So I feel like that was the purpose of Beats was never about the headphones. So it makes sense for burying them.
I personally thought they were going to shut Beats down, but
yeah, I'm surprised they didn't.
Yeah, and there's rumors for new ones coming out. I think Kim Kardashian was found wearing a pair of new.
I heard that.
So, but I don't get into that stuff. So we got two other stories. Both are about the Apple Card. This was in our friends at the Mac Observer. Apple Card customers are getting 6% cash back. It seems that Apple Card customers are going to get 6% cash back on purchases from Apple, as opposed to the usual 3%. Nothing's been officially announced about this yet, but somehow, some way, someone went into their wallet and said, "Ooh, look at that! I got 6% back." So you go buy a Mac for $2,500, you're getting 6% on that.
That's insane.
Pretty good. I have never heard that much of a return. Especially people are starting to buy Macs now with the new Macs that were released. It's gonna be interesting to see where that goes.
Incentive. Yeah.
4 or 5% is usually pretty high for cash back on a card. 6, I don't even think I've heard of that.
No.
I mean, if you price out a 14-inch MacBook Pro at $3,000, you talk about like $180 or something like that in cash back. Yes, please.
Yeah, exactly. So then Apple Card also had its woes. It had its woes earlier this month with the iPhone, which I experienced firsthand, where I couldn't make my purchase with my Apple Card. I had to use a different card before, and I would have been shut out if I wouldn't have done that. But they took care of all the customers and gave the 3% cash back, even though you bought it on a different card. But in this case, Apple was offering 0% financing, which they normally do, but it made a checkout error. So what had happened was customers were going to make a purchase, and then all of a sudden the 0% financing didn't happen, and they had to pay it in full. Ooh. So if you were looking to finance it, that might have been a problem. But they're fixing the problem, and they're going to go in and give people the option, the monthly installments. I've got my Apple Watch, my old Apple Watch. I'm still paying, which is fine by me. They gave me 2 years. I'm not going to complain. It cost me like 10 or 15 or 20 bucks a month. And then an iPad, the iPad Pro, the M1 I got, this is on the financing. You don't even feel it. They just pay it and it's 0% and it's covered. It is a good incentive they offer. Most of the stuff they offer is for a year, sometimes 2 years. But what do you guys think? I think I think Goldman Sachs and Apple have some work to do. They still continue to have problems.
Well, this isn't a new problem because this happened to me when I bought my iPhone 11, and then it happened again when I got my 12, where I could not use my Apple Card to finance it. I ended up having to pull out another credit card. And then once I got it through the upgrade program, I was able to change the payment to my Apple Card. But
that's what I did.
I didn't get like anything as far as cashback. But on the other hand, every month when Citizens takes out my upgrade,
me too.
I get the 3% on that. So,
yep, me too.
It's the exact kind of integration that you would expect just works. That's kind of the whole pitch of Apple. It's kind of strange that like another company's card is going to work better than
it's like
Apple's own cards. Like I can't
works.
download a music file in iTunes, but like Spotify works great on my Mac. Like that, it's that kind of like oddity.
Yeah.
Like it shouldn't work that way.
Yeah, for sure. So that's the news. We're going to talk about beta. Beta this week. Release candidates for all of the OSs that are out there now. iOS 15.1 is release candidate, and they just as we record this today, this morning they released the second release candidate for iPad OS 15.1, which I attempted to download and it didn't say it was available. So I haven't had a chance to go look and see what the version is that's supposed to be out there. Maybe it didn't get released yet. Who knows? But it's probably just a second candidate. So watchOS 8.1 that has a release candidate as well as tvOS. So they're supposed to release all these versions on Monday, October 25th, and that I think some of the features are going to include things like Share Play is finally going to be available. They have some fixes and updates and such. But we got links in the show notes to what you can expect that's going to happen here. And we've talked about it a number of times. 15.1 for HomePod is still in invite only. It's beta. I don't know where that's going. I would assume it will get released once it goes and when it goes public. And the things like the fact that you can put your vaccine card records, and some states are allowing your driver's license in the wallet. That's going to be an option in 15.1 as well. So not a ton of stuff. I think the biggest thing that people are probably going to be excited about finally is the Share Play. What do you guys think?
Yeah.
SharePlay is the biggest by far for me. Like I can't wait. I was specifically very bummed because I wanted to watch Foundation with my dad over SharePlay, and we have been able to do that. And now he doesn't want to watch anything with me ever again because Apple did that. So maybe one can rekindle our relationship there. I'm excited about that.
I might have to jump in on this so I can watch. I still haven't been able to get into Foundation, but maybe if I watch somebody who will all be into it, maybe I'll get into it.
I like it. It's a good show so far.
It's a great show.
But the vaccine card, I'm excited about that because I always get really paranoid. I'm going to lose my vaccination card.
Yeah.
And then I'll try to go get groceries and sorry, sir, you can't go in here. Where that's going to happen. It's a little intense. My friend, he went to, was it Seattle? I can't remember. He was in Seattle somewhere where they had vaccine passports were needed. And he couldn't though use the vaccine on the wallet yet. So he just made a shortcut in the Shortcuts app where he had the home screen icon. He clicks on that and then just pulls up a picture of his vaccination card immediately.
Oh, wow.
So if you can't get it in your state, you still have that option if you want to.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't even know how you add it. It'll be interesting to see. I have mine in a small pouch that I keep in my backpack. And inside the pouch is also an AirTag. So I won't lose it.
Yep. So interesting. Going to see where things go for next week, and then as well as Monterey for Mac OS. I know some things that you're going to be able to use with your iPad was the universal control. That's not going to be ready for Monterey, so we're going to be waiting a while for that one.
Real big bummer.
Still got Sidecar that's going to be around to use if you want to. So we got the final versions will start to be out next week for 15.1. Then move on to the next version, 15.11, or who knows. We'll see where it goes. And you guys, you said you don't run beta on any of your devices, right?
I normally do. I just don't have the latest one. I mean, I'm running Monterey, but on the iOS devices, I usually install it about halfway through the beta period.
Okay.
Over the summer. And then when the release comes out, I usually just take off the developer profile. And so I usually don't go the incremental releases.
Okay.
I'll just wait for it.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I do the 0.0 major updates in beta over the summer. But after that, once we catch up, I just stay on the normal software at that point. I don't usually see there's a huge difference in the 0.1 updates that I want that functionality immediately.
Gotcha. All right, let's go ahead and move on. So Apple this past week had their Apple event Unleashed, and it was interesting. It's probably one of the shortest presentations I can recall that Apple's done. It was just a little over 50 minutes. And the last few have been an hour and a half, 2 hours sometimes. So, but they really put it on a focus. It was focused on music and the Mac, and everything in between. So, some of the things we'll cover this week. One of the things that they came out with was the HomePod. The HomePod Mini it was released with different colors, which I thought was interesting. And they're different colors in the sense that they come in blue and orange, and along with the white and yellow and the black, the silver space gray. Interesting. But the other thing interesting I found is, people were talking about this on social media, is the fact that the colors, they're not the right color spectrum. Like the orange is not the same color as the orange in the iMac. Yeah. And the blue is not and I know, Brian, you're always into those details of color palettes, and I thought which are inside of that, which is very surprising, I thought.
Yeah, the orange doesn't look orange to me, but then what they call like the iPhone cases that are supposed to be orange, they call them, I forgot what the word they use to describe the orange, electric orange or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, electric orange.
Yeah, it just doesn't look orange to me. But the iPhone orange leather case from a few years ago, that's orange. That's what I consider to be orange. I just want the yellow HomePod Mini for my office because it'll go really good with that.
Okay.
And I'm a sucker like that. So
yeah, hopefully they'll have them on sale. You can get a little bit better deal. So as far as the sound goes, and we just were talking about that, sound quality is really good. I had two as a pair that I was using while my basement was being redone for the replacement of the floor. So I had to use the HomePod Minis for a time instead of having to reset up the home theater and then reset it up again. So now we'll probably put them around the house, and they've for a little speaker, they got just some mighty good sound, I must admit.
It's fantastic.
Compared to, of course, the big HomePods, which are pretty phenomenal. It's definitely going to be an interesting market to see where Apple goes with HomePods, HomePod Minis in general. There has been some chatter about the fact that maybe they're trying to compete with Amazon with the voice controls, because it's with Siri and adding more enhanced features. And we'll talk about music here in just a minute. It's going to be definitely interesting to see where Apple goes with HomePod in the future, HomePod Mini with this. What do you guys think?
For the Mini line in particular, I would not be surprised if we see yearly cycles where they just change the colors out and keep it the same.
Yeah.
Yeah,
possible.
I think so too. And for me, it's I don't even use them for Siri, mainly because I have my phone, I have my Mac. There's a million places where I can, get information from Siri. So I use it for music, and I don't even use voice commands. I just AirPlay out to it.
AirPlay,
from Apple Music. So I'm a pretty minimal user. I just use it for music because it sounds great. I could care less about having Siri built into it because I don't know. In a way, I think that's kind of creepy, but that's just me.
I only use HomePod for Siri just to turn lights on and off in the house. I'm really incredibly basic with the HomePod, but it's still convenient enough for me to, I think, make it worth it to put one in almost every room.
Yeah, see, I do that with my watch.
Yeah,
I'll walk in a room and press my watch and say, hey, Siri, turn the lights on, do this, whatever.
The problem is that when you have a HomePod, see, I don't like doing the whole hold down the button on my watch because then I feel like I might as well use my phone because I'm using two hands to interact with like the watch at that point for like a voice command. It just feels a little too cumbersome when voice commands are supposed to be easier. So, and I also, if I don't use two hands, I can just say, hey, S into the watch. But then my HomePod picks it up because that thing can hear you from like 1,000 yards away. It's actually pretty crazy how far away it can hear you.
Yeah.
So I just use the HomePod. It's easy.
No, I agree.
Set timers with it.
Yeah. I mean,
timers are nice on it. Yeah.
There's all kinds of things we could do with it. But it'll continue to evolve, and we'll definitely see where it goes here. So, but I know you guys we've been talking about this all week. We're itching to talk about this topic and this new product that Apple came out with. It's probably one of the best products they've ever come out with in the world. The cleaning cloth. The cleaning
cloth.
Highest
demand too.
The cleaning
polishing cloth.
The polishing cloth. That's right. I've got the wrong term.
We've been calling it all week. We've been calling it the cleaning cloth.
No,
it's actually the polishing.
I'm going to change that.
Call it the iTouch as well.
Yes, thank you.
And the iWatch.
Yeah,
the iWatch, the iTouch.
So it is the Apple polishing cloth, and I was like, what the heck? I was almost as bad as the iPod socks.
Hey, you know what? I love the iPod. I still have an iPod sock. So
yeah, I wish I had one. I didn't have an iPod that fit that, so it was pointless to buy them. But they're probably there's something that you want to keep for nostalgia. So yeah, this was a polishing cloth, and I think it was more aimed towards the new Mac displays to clean them because they have the new displays that are out now.
Nano texture.
The nano texture. And but it works with any Apple device, which makes sense. $19.99. Is it worth the purchase? You guys all ordered them, right?
I mean, we had
5.
to.
I got 5 of them.
Did you order 5?
No, I didn't order any of them.
I ordered one just because I want to see.
I did too.
I mean, to be honest with you, I still have the cleaning cloth for my original iPhone, and I still use it, and it's great. And when I bought my 24-inch cinema display, like in 2008, they gave in the box was a huge version of that cloth, and I still have that, and I keep it in my backpack to clean like the screen on my MacBook and stuff or my iPad. So why not? I mean, $19, I'd throw that away at Starbucks anyway. So what difference does it make?
Yeah. Well, I just put an article in the show notes from Mac Rumors that just published a day ago as we record this, and you're not going to get one for Christmas. They might not be available till January 2022 at this point because so many people have ordered them. I mean, that's what's crazy. But a $20 polishing cloth is out of stock.
There's going to be a lot of crying children when they don't have this under.
You might have to go on eBay and you see if they're going to sell them for 5 times the cost.
I'm getting mine like early December, so I could potentially make some serious cash on this.
You could, just do like an advanced sell.
I'm looking at what the shipping times are on like a Series 7 watch because I'm just curious. Like, probably just came out recently. What are
that's a problem too.
The delays on that one as well, because this was it 10 to 12 weeks for a polishing cloth seems crazy. I
bet they made like 6 of them. I bet they made like 6 of them.
They made 6 of them. Yeah.
It's like Nintendo.
Due to supply shortages because of COVID, we had to.
Yeah,
we couldn't
component
manufacture
shortages.
quite as many as we thought we could.
Yeah.
No, my polishing cloth is coming on October 26th. So.
Oh wow!
Is it really?
Yeah.
Wow, you got in really early.
I did.
Wow,
I
you're a
just checked
bigger
it.
sucker than me. I had to think about it for a few days. I had to convince myself.
It says
I had to suck
delivers.
it up and do it.
It says delivers October 26th through November 2nd. So I got the first batch.
It's funny because the other day, Holden and I were talking about this on the phone. We're like, oh man, this polishing cloth. Did you see this? Blah, blah, blah. By the end of the call, we had both ordered it. So.
No, you ordered it. I didn't order it.
Oh, you didn't order? I thought you ordered it.
No.
Did you order one?
No, of course not. No.
You didn't order one?
No,
We're going to have to ask you to leave this call. I'm sorry. It's been nice seeing you. You're not
I'm one of the
the
terrible, horrible, awful people who uses their shirt to wipe off their phone and all that
All
stuff.
right, now you
It's
really got
terrible.
to go.
Come on, I still got this stuff, the eye clear. Remember this?
Oh my
I
God.
do.
It still works.
And that's look at it's got like the leopard.
Yeah, look at what's on the
wallpaper
bottle.
the
If anybody's looking at the live stream, look what's on the bottle. All the old products. Look at that. I think that's that's the first iPad. I think it's on there.
Yeah, and that's actually Snow
Snow
Leopard.
leopard. Yeah, snow leopard. Yeah.
Snow Leopard had the better wallpaper than Leopard, but
Yeah,
isn't
those are
that
great
crazy? It's
So Apple Watch Series 7,
there's the cleaning
aluminum
cloth.
green.
the eye
Yeah,
clear
it's probably going to be about that size too.
Yeah,
The Apple Watch is November 30th to December 7th right now. So that's actually
That's not bad.
farther back than I would have expected.
Yeah, that's interesting. I kind of even iPad Minis are like way out still.
I'm not
I wonder what
surprised.
AirPods are at. Actually, now I think about it.
Yeah, mine are coming. I bought the new AirPods.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, just because these are my pros and it does not fit in this ear.
All right,
It's
hold
the
that,
strangest thing.
hold that thought. We'll come to the AirPods here just in a minute here.
Okay.
Let's go
Getting
on and move on to
ourselves.
Apple Music because Brian, you've been perplexed to what the heck this new plan is.
the hell is this?
Apple comes out and announces it was the first thing that opened during the event on Monday. Again, and also, what's with it being on Monday? We were all thrown off. It's always been on a Tuesday, and and this event was on a Monday. I was mesmerized. Why would Apple switch out on this? It just made no sense to me.
Especially since it's pre-recorded, they could have played it anytime.
Yeah. So quietly, not really quietly. I mean, Tim Cook was the first thing he talked about, talking about how music is the big thing now, and everybody will rely on using Siri to listen to music. And as you talked about earlier, you don't like to use that for this. So what Apple decided to do is it's a plan for someone who wants to be able to access music, not to pay a lot for it, because a single person will now be able to spend only $4.99 a month for them to be able to only listen to music by asking Siri to play it. So you'll have access to all the music, but it's the only way you're going to be able to use this plan is if you use Siri to ask for using basically what they're calling it, the voice plan. So it's for one person, and you get Siri on Apple devices. You get songs, playlists, stations, and all Apple devices. So that's a single plan. If that's all you want, and then I'm going to put a link here from the 9 to 5 article, and this is also the grid that Apple showed during the event, because there's two other plans you can get as well. The individual plan, which is basically what you're paying for anyway, because I have the Apple One bundle, so I already have a voice plan. Everybody who has Apple Music has a voice plan because they can use Siri to listen to music. In this individual plan, you pay $9.99 a month. And it's for only one person. Siri on all devices, songs, playlists, and stations. But then you also get lyrics, music videos. You didn't get that in the single voice plan. And then you also get the spatial and lossless audio, which you don't get in the cheap voice plan. And of course, Apple Plus supported devices, meaning you can use your Android device or any other devices that support Apple Music. And then you have the family plan, which is at $14.99 a month, which will include basically 6 people in your family, which is basically what I have for the Apple bundle now. So I have the Apple One bundle, which includes all the other services. So this is kind of pointless to me. So really, I think they were just trying to entice more subscribers to the Apple Music, and to the fact that for $5 you get access to music and you get access to Apple's extensive catalog. But
you were saying it has to be used on an iPhone or really an Apple product. It has to be used on an Apple product
for the low end product. Yeah, it's for the voice plan, just the voice plan. One person, Siri on Apple devices, songs, playlists, and stations. That's all you have access to with that plan, and then only Apple devices. Right.
They should have called this the Siri plan, because voice plan almost makes it sound like it's subsidized by your carrier or something.
Or it's like part of your, it's like a T-Mobile thing or something.
Yeah. I think when I think voice plan, I immediately think about phone plans.
Phones.
Like instantly. Yeah.
To me, this screams of something else. Like, in other words, they're testing something out, whether it's a, interfaceless, system that they're testing, or voice control, or maybe they're looking to force people to use Siri more. I don't know, but it just doesn't seem like something that people would be asking for.
Yeah.
So my first thought was immediately like that. Like, there's got to be something else here. And then I remembered that my mom only listens to music through the HomePod. She does not listen to music any other way. She never listens on her phone. She never ever listens by going to the music app, finding a song and selecting it. She always uses Siri, mostly because she just kind of says, "Hey Siri, play me some stuff." She's not looking for particular stuff.
Now you just triggered everybody's HomePod.
Oh crap! Sorry. I'm so sorry, everyone.
Hey, yes, lady.
That out. Yeah.
So I think for her it makes sense, but I feel like for a lot of people, this plan is going to mean, oh, there's a low entry to get into Apple Music for $5 for the first month, and then I'll want to spend $10 every month after that to use the app because I don't want to be hindered with my music listening experience like that.
Right.
It's strange, but I think there is a niche of people that this is going to work for, but it's definitely an odd plan to begin with.
And really to make it odd to the fact that the way Apple introduced it, we were all confused. I was confused, and that was. I mean, I was talking on Mac Voices live earlier this week as we record this, and I didn't even get it until we finally said, "Oh, that's what they're talking about. That it's Siri only and it's limited and all that." It was extremely confusing. So basically, all they did was they added an additional plan to Apple Music. That's really how they should have advertised it. This was so gung ho with Siri, because they're trying to get people to think, "Oh, Siri is really good," and it still has its flaws. Please, I mean there are still issues with Siri.
I feel like I think the issue for them is they can't come out and say, "Hey, here's this new plan. It doesn't do the phone app. It doesn't do Android. They can't say what it doesn't do. They have to say what it does do." And then that kind of makes it hard to position it, I think, because they can only really talk about Siri.
This is like the what was it? The iPod. We were just talking about it, and I can't remember the name.
The
of
iPod
it.
Shuffle without the buttons.
The Shuffle. This is like the equivalent of the iPod Shuffle. And one thing I don't like, and why this is not for me, is because I want to listen to what I want to listen to.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's like that's why I don't like services like Pandora, or I don't like playlists made for me, or just saying, "Hey, S lady, play me some music." Because I just want to listen to what I want to listen to. You don't get to decide for me, Siri. Sorry.
Well, this is one of my big questions too, is can you make your own playlist in the music app? You can't listen to the song there, but you can at least see like a list of songs that you can't play by tapping on them to make a playlist yourself. Or you do not even have that option. And the only music you really get to listen to is.
You can't even open the app. You go to open the app and you get a big red hand that says, "Sorry, you're the voice only plan."
Yeah, Zane Lowe is there to explain the voice plan to you.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, I wonder how that would work. Could you say, "Hey, play this particular playlist that I made,"
Yeah. So, I'm curious how that would work. I imagine my guess is that you can't make any custom playlists. You just work off of what is there. They made a point before announcing the voice plan to talk about all these new, human curated playlists they've made just to match certain moods.
Yeah.
So I feel like they aligning those two things together. My assumption is that you can't custom make anything. And if you go into the music app, it's only the songs that you actually own from iTunes.
Interesting.
That's my guess, at least. But I feel like that's correct.
Yeah, I don't think I'll ever know any more about this just because I have absolutely zero interest in it. So
the other benefit too is they get to say Apple Music now starts at $4.99. That's another benefit.
This is true. This is true. Okay, Dave, I see you put in the show notes there. One person, Siri on Apple devices, songs, playlists, stations, all Apple devices. But it doesn't tell you that you can create. It also doesn't have spatial and lossless audio either.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel like anyone though who's like looking to save $5 on their monthly plan for music is not going to be like, oh darn, I'm missing out on spatial audio. I feel like anyone who's thinking about spatial audio probably is going to spend that $5 extra to get spatial audio.
Yeah, it'd be cool if they would break this down like during like an earnings call and say, like we have 10 million family plans. We have, 50 million individual plans and 6 voice plans.
Voice plans. And we'd like to thank Bob, Jessica, and Samantha for subscribing to Voice Plan. Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone come up here.
Yeah. It's just, it seems strange to me, but I don't know. You know what? It could be really big for a lot of people. And we'll see. But it kind of threw me off. Definitely.
Yeah. And too, like we can still use the same plan we've been using. It doesn't change anything for us. So. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's probably what most people have.
So let's talk about the AirPods. The AirPods announcement. So they announced the AirPods 3, and this was I think a smart thing that Apple did because the fact that they needed to have a midline model. So because they had the AirPods, which is the starting model that's been around. I think we determined 2016. I think it was 2017.
Yeah. Did you ever find out, Holden? Or were you too busy? Yeah. Okay. I didn't know if you got stuck in.
It wasn't a point to interject and be like, by the way, guys, really important. It's 2016. So I didn't say
2016. I don't remember it being that long ago, but I guess, yeah. Gosh,
well,
it's 5
iPhone
years
10
ago.
was the next year in 2017.
Yeah. So,
yeah.
So now you have the iPad, the AirPods at 129, and then you have the AirPods, the third generation, which is at 179. And you have then, of course, the AirPods Pro, which of course failed on me right now, and it must have, probably my Mac was. I got to figure this out because this is not the first time this has happened. So really, where would you want to go between these three models? So the fact of the matter is, the AirPods third generation does not have spatial audio. So really, that's going to be the big difference between the AirPods third gen and the AirPods Pro. And I can tell you the spatial audio, it does sound pretty phenomenal.
Pretty amazing.
Yeah. And I'm going like this every time when move my head back and forth. And you're like, whoa, where am I?
I know. I do that too. It's like, oh wow, now he's over there. Now it's like, it's very well done.
Still need to watch that whale documentary that you were telling me about, because that you said you use spatial audio really, really well.
On Apple TV Plus, there's a whale documentary, and I can't remember the name of it, but it was excellent. Yeah. And that was the first thing I watched in spatial audio, and I had no idea it had spatial audio until I turned my head and I was like, whoa. It's like you feel like you're there. It's a little disorienting at first, but it really puts you into what you're watching.
So I've not been a fan of spatial audio whenever I've used it. So to me, I turn it off anyway.
Mm-hmm. I'm sorry, you're gonna have to leave now.
It's disorienting for me.
Yeah, I would think it would be for some people.
Because when I'm looking at a screen, I'm expecting I can just hear that content. My priority is I want to hear that content as well as I possibly can, whether I'm turning my head in any direction. So when I turn my head one way and then I can't hear what I'm watching as well in the ear facing away from that device, it's very disorienting. Yeah. It's like, why is it adjusting the audio levels in these separately? Like I'd like to hear it equally well in both headphones. Yeah. So I don't know, it doesn't work for me. It doesn't work.
I thought it was going to be gimmicky. I thought it was going to be gimmicky, that this was just kind of like, but actually I really like it. Mm-hmm. Especially foundation in spatial audio is fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe it's if something is really made for it, like that whale documentary sounds like that was really made for spatial audio. Maybe that's a different experience, but right now it feels like I'll watch a show on Apple TV and that's not designed for spatial audio. So all it really does is say, okay, your screen's in front of you, and if you turn your head, it's still right there. And that I don't like. But if it's like you were saying, like with the whale documentary and the whales are around you and you can hear them kind of coming all around you, that sounds more interesting. But I haven't had that experience yet with it.
Yeah. Watch that documentary. It's excellent.
Yeah. So we have the AirPods, the second generation, third generation, and you compare really what they have. They all have the same chips. The H1 chip is in there. The second gen AirPods, I believe. It has USB-A charging, Lightning USB-A. The AirPods third gen and the AirPods Pro were the Lightning to USB-C. Of course, that's a cable that came with it. It does not have wireless charging with the second gen, but you do have wireless charging with Qi charging for the other two models. So that's pretty good. So really got to decide where it's going to fit for you. But I think the spatial audio is going to be the biggest thing, is the fact that is that something that's going to fit your needs.
And the noise cancellation.
Noise cancellation. That's right. I forgot that. Noise cancellation in AirPods Pro.
I love
the AirPods
noise cancellation.
Pro,
It works really, really well. I have a pair of Sony over the years, and those are known for having really good noise cancellation. And those are obviously still better. But the AirPod Pros do a fantastic job of noise canceling. Like I can be outside, just like hanging on the patio, and there's some noise and commotion I want to listen to. So I'll put the noise canceling on and it's gone. So it works really well. And I think that is worth an extra $50 if you're comparing to the wireless charging version of the third generation. I think it's worth it.
They just don't, and I'm wearing them now, but they just do not fit in this ear.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's a very functional reason.
And so I bought the AirPod 3s to see if they would fit better, because I do prefer the shorter stems, So we'll see. Hopefully they fit better. And then the AirPods Pro, I can,
Yeah, I'm curious what it does for you, because I think you said the second generation AirPods worked better for you. And then you went to the Pros and they didn't.
Yeah, it's. But I have, to be honest with you, I would use the Pros in a situation like this, but most of the time I have the Max ones.
I didn't know you got the Max.
I told you that.
We were just talking about that at the beginning of the show. He said he's got the AirPods Max.
Yeah.
I thought you were being facetious. Honestly, I had no idea.
No, I had so much Apple cash. It was like, because I was actually looking at getting Sony ones like yours. And you're still going to pay like $320, $350 for them, right?
Yeah.
And so after, like I threw a bunch of Apple cash on it, that was actually cheaper than getting the Sonys. They're not perfect. I hate this.
The case?
I want them to fold up.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And this is like it's like a little purse, I'm walking around with they look like Mickey Mouse ears kind of, but
they do. Yeah.
Yeah. But they fit great. They sound great. The digital crown is fantastic. Yeah. So, I really like them. I'm not crazy about how they lay flat like that.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I think the price difference between those and my Sonys is worth it. I haven't used yours, obviously. I didn't even know they existed. I used a friend of mine. So he was staying over my house. Like one night I was just like, hey, can I listen to your AirPods just like over the night and just like really test them out and see what they're like? They sound incredible. I think they do sound better than my Sonys, and noise cancellation's just as good. They're very comfortable. But here's the important thing: my Sonys are plastic, and they don't hold up. The Max feels so solid. It feels like the kind of thing you could seriously have forever.
Yeah.
This is what I don't like about the Max, though.
The bra.
Well, not only that, but listen.
Oh.
They hit each other. There's no way to separate them. Like if you're just carrying them around, and if you turn them like this, you connect. Why are you laughing at me?
I'll turn after.
Right, I'm going home now.
So okay, It reminds me of when I used to work in technical support, and people would come in with their phones and they would shake them in my ear and they'd be like, "Did you hear that rattling sound?" And I'm like, "Well, yeah, there's a spring in the camera." And that just
like
they're metal headphones. If you shake them and they bang together, they're going to do that.
Well, I mean, they shouldn't bang together like that. Which is probably why they created this cool looking case,
Yeah,
the bra,
really cool.
the bra.
I mean, that's.
Yeah. I mean, it's a matter of physics. I don't know. I don't think Apple could change. They could put rubber stops on either side of the headphones.
I might do that.
It would look horrible.
I'm going to put like rubber stops on there, and they're going to look really cool, like racing stripes. Yeah, I don't know.
So,
I mean, I do like them though. Overall, would I pay full price for them? No, absolutely not.
See, I would, but I use headphones all the time. So
I do now. I mean, I use these for focus and for concentration. Mm-hmm. And I very rarely listen to music, through headphones. Mm-hmm. So if like I'm writing or something, I'll put on soundscapes. I'll put on like just general noise. The noise function in iOS 15 is great. I use that all the time.
All right.
Do you ever just turn on the noise cancellation and nothing just to block out all noise?
Every day. Every day.
All right. So a couple more topics I wanted to hit before we run out of time here. I did want to mention that my AirPods Pro were starting to get a crackling sound, and this was a known issue with the older AirPods that were made prior to, I think, October of 2020.
Yep.
So I decided they had just started doing it, so I said, you know what, I'm going in the App Store. I want to check it out and see if they'll replace them, because I have a link in the show notes. They do have a service program for sound issues, they're calling it. It's not crackling to them, but so as soon as I brought it in, they said, okay, let's put it, and they can do a sound test on the AirPods Pro, and then they'll let me know. So they'll come back in an hour. Great. So I have to sit around for an hour, wait for you to tell me that, you could have easily just replaced them and I can been on my way. Yeah. So hour later, there you go. And they basically just gave me the new AirPods, and I kept the case. So that I didn't get a new case. So for those of you who do have AirPods, I purchased mine right when they came out, which was in October 2019.
2019.
So, yeah. So
that's when I got mine. I had the same issue, and they replaced them.
They replaced them. Okay. So, So it was a little frustrating to have to wait, but it's a good thing that they have the program, and I'm continue to be a happy customer.
Apple definitely does a good job with the quality programs when they do them. I think they do a good job with the quality programs. But I had to look at their article for it, because I had to know what the first sentence was, because it's always the same sentence in these quality programs. It's always, Apple has determined that a small percentage of insert product, may experience insert issue. It's always that sentence, a small percentage of. But to be fair, like 2% of AirPods is how many tens of millions of devices?
Yeah, I'm going to go play the lottery, Apple, okay? Because it always happens to me, and I'm in the small percentage. So let's play the lottery tonight.
Yeah, you do have the worst luck with that, 100%.
I do.
But I'm glad I got them replaced. And then a couple of cool stuff I got this week from Speck. Speck is I've been a big fan of Speck's products. They gave me some review units of some of their AirTag accessories. They just came out with some accessories for their AirTag, for the AirTag, and I'm actually pretty impressed with them. They've got I've got a link in the show notes of that. They're going to be coming soon. The one I used for one of my key sets is, I'm showing on camera here. This is the this little ring, which is $49.95. It comes in about 4 different colors, and they also have the carbonator, which is carboner, which is a little ring like this.
I like
I'm showing on camera, and this has the clip on. Only thing I'm finding out with these, it's really a little bit of a struggle to get the AirTag inside this ring. That's on each one of theirs.
Push it in.
You really got to push hard to get it in here.
It's a nice
little bit here.
That's the kind of thing you'd want to snap onto your bag or something. because it looks cool.
And they also have a luggage tag one. That's the one I'm showing here, which is magnetic, and you put the AirTag in here, then close it up, and then it comes with the loop that you can attach easily to your luggage or your backpack. And then they have in fact, you can use these. These are the silly loops that they come in different colors here that you can put your AirTag into here, and this you can just string this through on your backpack if you wanted to do it from the outside.
That's nice.
So they got nicer than the Belkin ones for sure. The Belkin ones look really cheap. Those look nice.
I've got the Belkin one, and it really is cheap. That $12 one. This one I'm using from one of my keychains is $44.95, and this actually is built pretty good, and it's got one of the cable rings instead of these crappy rings that you break your fingernails on all the time when you try when you try to separate them. But so check it out, Speck, speckproducts.com. I got a link in the show notes for some of their new products. They'll be coming soon. If you want to get some more choices, some really high quality choices other than Belkin and some of those really cheap knockoffs you find on Amazon.
I mean, they look really nice, Dave, but I only use the Hermes ones.
That's right.
Because there's nothing
forgot
like
you were going to tell me.
$480 for an AirTag holder for a $29 AirTag.
I thought you do. You have to have the Hermes.
Yeah, have to.
Yeah,
can't be seen without one. So. They do look really nice.
Into your Honda. It's your keychain for your Honda.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
One last topic, and then we got a couple apps, so we'll wrap things up here. Is on Saturday, October 23rd, as we record this, the 20th anniversary of the iPod. The iPod came out 20 years ago on this date. I remember it vividly watching Steve Jobs on that small little stage, announcing it, pulling it out of his pocket for the first time and announcing it for the first time. I owned, just like iPhones, we're going to talk about iPhones, we'll talk about another time, but that I've owned many iPhones. Well, I've owned a pretty good amount of iPods too. And I have to make sure to say iPod because I'm so used to saying iPhone. Or iPad. We got some links into the show notes as far as the iPod. And Wikipedia, there's a great article in Wikipedia that shows all the iPod models. I can go through, and I probably owned most of those iPods, including I did own the very first iPod Touch. I remember that one. That was the first gen.
Yes, I remember that too.
And you couldn't upgrade it anymore. So I got someone to buy it. So I sold it. I have somewhere the first generation of the iPod. That was the 5 gigabyte with 5,000 songs.
I had the one with the mechanical wheel.
That's the mechanical wheel. Yeah. And I still can't forget the commercial, the very first commercial, and they used the song "Take California," and the guy jumping around. And I mean, they had such great ads for iPods.
Yeah, I think I had that saved in my hard drive somewhere. I love that commercial.
I love that commercial, and then the last generation was 160 gigabytes, and they had stopped selling that about 7 years ago now. So there's still a market for them. So you still got those iPods that are available, which as well. So in fact, I've even found the original press release from Apple. They still have it on Apple's website. I can't believe it. That announcing the iPod for the first time. And this is before the iPhone. This is before anything in the mobile arena that Apple. This is the very first thing that Apple did in the arena. So in the mobile arena, it changed the way we listen to music. It really did.
Yeah, it's really what kind of launched Apple. I mean, the iMac was great and everything, but Apple didn't really start to get big until the iPod. What I thought was great in the event was the commercial for the AirPods 3 is a throwback to the old iPod commercials.
It was
with the silhouettes and the colors I loved it. I thought that was really cool. I remember seeing the iPod for the first time and thinking, what the hell is Apple doing? Yeah. I was like, what, a music player? But I was wrong. That's why I don't work for Apple. So,
Holden, did you had an iPod, right?
Yeah, I remember I saved up. I think no, this is my dad.
No, your first iPod, I won in a raffle.
No, That was on my
It was
first
the
one.
iPod
That was my
video.
second one. That was my
Okay.
second one.
All right, forget.
Which that was a landmark product though for me, because that's when I first started. That's the whole story. iPod Mini was my first iPod, and I think the arrangement was like I would save up for half of it, and you guys would match me. And then I got the iPod Mini, and the matching thing was like after I've been saving for a while, because you guys were like proud of me for like saving my money to get it. And so I got it earlier, and I'm like so excited I get it. And then like 3 weeks later, they announced the Nano. And if I had just waited and saved up money for myself and didn't get the matching, then I would have gotten a Nano instead.
Yeah.
So I remember that, but the Mini was still like rock solid. That thing was tough.
It was.
Yeah. Those
are
were
great
great.
device.
Yeah, and then we got the video one.
Yeah.
And
the iPod with the video,
with the video, the postage stamp size video. And I remember, did you watch like Lost, like the entire thing on under your covers at night when you're supposed to be sleeping?
Exactly. Yeah. And it got like 3 hours of battery life watching video because it has a spinning disk drive. It's like spinning in this handheld device. But yeah, I watched Lost because they only had 6 shows and they were all from either ABC or Disney.
Yeah.
And
this is why you wear glasses now, because you watch too many hours of TV on an iPod.
and the games you could play on that iPod too, which were just Breakout and Solitaire. I was like just spinning the wheel and getting things to move. And,
see, Breakout was great. Which like the 3D version of Brick, where like you're going in the sphere and it lines the clock. That was really cool. But
Breakout was cool because Steve Jobs invented Break. Well, he invented
Wozniak invented it.
Yeah, Wozniak actually wrote it, and then Steve Jobs screwed him out of thousands of dollars.
That's right.
But yeah, I'm sure that was really a sore subject for Woz when he saw they put this into the iPod. It was kind of like another,
Yeah.
That was pretty mean, I thought.
That was the video that was a landmark iPod for me, because that's when every music I've ever bought was always digital on an iPod, just because my generation, I just kind of happened to grow up in that window. I started buying movies for myself I had the iPod video at that point. So I've always just like started my collection on Apple devices, and it's always maintained that way. And I think a big part of that was the iPod video and having my own video collection when I was a kid. That was awesome. I love the iPod video. What a great device.
Yeah, I sold everything.
Backs, though.
Other than the
steel back.
Yeah.
They scratch easy. They scratch easy.
That's the worst part about iPod, I would say. Those backs are the worst.
They scratched easy. But then we haven't even talked about the iPod Shuffle, which was popular for a while. I still have the one that looks like a pack of like a piece of Trident gum.
Yeah, it works as well as that too.
Yeah, it does. It actually does work okay. I mean, it does, but you just don't know what's on there. You just play random music.
Again, not for me. I want to listen to what I want to listen to.
And then the first iPod Touch looked like a big pack of Wrigley's chewing gum.
Yeah.
So they just kind of evolved down to a small square, and then then it finally.
The ones with the clip I thought which were the last ones, I think.
You
could clip them onto you. Yeah, those weren't bad.
Yeah,
and they were dirt cheap.
Yeah, you could buy them for next to nothing.
That was my go-to present for my mom, because she would lose it, and then I would get her a different color, and then she'd find hers again. And then after a few years, she had like a variety of iPod Shuffle colors.
Yeah. And they actually cost less than the polishing cloth. So,
that's true. $20. So
I forgot. I'm looking. So Dave, you have the link in here of like the Wikipedia
it's
article of like all of the different models. I forgot how much the iPod Nano changed. It went from like tall and skinny to wide and fat to looking like an Apple Watch. I forgot about the Apple Watch version of
the
it.
square.
I had one of those.
Yeah.
And people wore them as watches.
They were making them into watches. Yeah, there were special bands of people that they were selling.
Yeah.
So, but happy birthday to the iPod. We don't forget you. And it was quite a good memory. And I got a few old ones that buried here in the bin, and then Brian's got one of his old ones too. So they're still out there, and still a lot of them use it. A lot of people out there still using them.
Yeah.
All right. Before we wrap things up, we got a couple apps here to talk about. Brian, you're talking about my favorite app of all time. If you want to go into that,
the built-in magnifier app.
Yeah, it's a no-brainer.
It is a godsend for old people like me, because
I was just going to say you're so old.
I'll give you an example of when I used it recently. My wife's MacBook we were on vacation and her MacBook just blew up, like the graphics chip or something, and it melted. And we're talking to support and they're like, okay, can you get the serial number? And we couldn't boot it up. So you had to get it off the back of.
Right.
And it's what's so great about it is that you can zoom in, you can get it, snap a picture of it, and then copy that text to like, an email or a chat window or something. So yeah, I use it. I hate to admit, I use it all the time, and it's like on my home screen. So shout out to the magnifier app.
And also add to it, they've really done some great customizations in the controls too. If you go into the settings, the gear, you can add things like secondary controls like people detection, the flashlight, filters, brightness and contrast, as well as the camera. And so they've even enhanced it even more than they had in the past. Being able to give you some more customized controls than you could before. And so it's not just people who can't see you. It does come in handy for a lot.
Yeah, there are a lot of options. I didn't even see these. Interesting.
Yep. So, all right. And then I have an app, and this is actually a Mac app, but it works with the AirPods. So I thought it only fitting. We've talked there about the AirPods this week. It's an app called AirBuddy 2. And what it does is it actually gives you an experience with the AirPods that you've never experienced before, and it's got a nice UI. It gives you it actually gives you the actual concept of when you're on the iPhone, when you open up your AirPods case, it shows up on the screen, right? Well, now this app will allow you to experience the same thing on the Mac as well. And gives you the battery alerts, and reminds you to charging. Because sometimes the Apple notification doesn't give you that. It has a really nice menu bar and gives you a view of all of your devices, including the AirPods, and tells you how much battery life is, what it is. So really cool thing. It even has quick actions where you can switch between noise cancellation and transparency a lot easier. Not expensive. It's only like $9.99. That's for the Mac. But for those of you who are using AirPods, I think this is a great little app that gives you opportunity to do much more granular control of the AirPods than you could before.
I'm going to check it out. That's really cool. I thought it was a movie about a dog.
Yeah.
This is their AirBud.
Yeah, this is Air. Yeah,
no, they had Air Buddies though. They did have that spin off of it.
Yeah. But this is cool. I like this.
This is their second version. And this is their second version of it. They came out the first version, and I held back. I seem to remember it. I said, it doesn't look that exciting to me. But now they've really made some really good improvements, including customized keyboard shortcuts too. So if you want to switch the status, if those of you like to use keyboard shortcuts, you can toggle the music listening mode and all that too. So check it out. Links in the show notes here. So with that, let's go ahead and wrap things up for this week. That's a wrap for this week. Please send your comments, questions, and suggestions to our email address at feedback@intouchwithios.com. You can follow us on Twitter at intouchwithios. We usually live stream our show on Thursday nights at 7 p.m. Central Time, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific on our YouTube channel. That's at youtube.com/DaveG65, where you can also watch past streams and listen to all of the episodes. You also can visit In Touch with iOS magazine on Flipboard, where many of the topics we speak of we also discuss. We have a link in the show notes for that as well. You can also listen to us and subscribe in your favorite podcatcher, including Apple Podcasts and many others. But better yet, go to our website at intouchwithios.com, where all the ways listen to us are there. I am Dave Ginsburg, and you can find me on Twitter at DaveG65. And Holden, thanks for being here. Where can people find you?
I am on Twitter at Holden DePardo. I'm also on an Apple podcast called Networked. We'll probably be talking about the Macs on that pretty soon. So if you want to hear some more discussion on the Mac stuff, that sort of things, we'll have that pretty soon. All
right. And Brian, thanks for being here as well. Where can people find you?
At my house.
All right, cool.
No, I mean,
just show right up. I'll send you the address.
Yeah, just come on over. I actually do have something. I'm doing a reading from my novel at Stanford, November 12th. So I'll give you the link for the show notes.
Yeah. Put that in the link in the show notes. And all right, he's an accomplished author and IT professional and an all-around nice guy.
I saw the site today. It's very cool. I'm very proud. It's very cool having my dad go to Stanford for writing program and doing so well. It's awesome. I'm really proud of you.
I'm done with the program. This is like an alumni.
Yeah, but you did it.
I did it.
There you go.
I did it.
All right, guys. Thanks for. I hope you enjoyed the show because we enjoyed doing it, and it was lots of fun and a lot of good information. And thanks for listening. We'll talk again soon.